Okay, guys, so we're taking a look inside of the RS Media's head. Now, I've been talking to you guys so much about how if you use RS Media in a really loud room for a long time, constantly, it's going to develop a board issue, not a microphone issue, as far as I can tell, to where he's going to get stuck in a constant loop where he thinks he hears something. He'll say he hears something, and then when he says the "I don't hear anything anymore" response, he'll just immediately say right after that, "I hear something again." And he stays stuck, which again affects his roaming mode. You put him in roaming mode, he walks once, but when he pauses, because in roaming mode he pauses and then he switches his walking actions, he listens for a sound, but at first when this problem first occurs, he just says he hears something every time he stops walking. He's not supposed to, but this is the first stage of this problem that happens. As time goes on, the problem can get worse. The only one that hasn't gotten worse yet is my second. I have 5 medias with this issue. When it gets worse is where what I just said, it just says it hears something and it stays in that constant loop. I hear something, oh I don't hear it. Oh, I hear something, I had to disable this once, both of his ears, back in 2012. So I'm going to try and plug in him and showing you exactly what I'm talking about. Hopefully I'm not sure if it'll still do it or not. There's no known way to actually fix this. I feel like it programs itself to, when it constantly hears something, it saves that information and there's no way to erase it from thinking it hears something every time it stops walking. This one's always been like that. Every time it stops walking, it says it hears something. This one was not. After the second day of owning it, we had really loud music playing. We were screaming very loud. I was using it on guard mode and stuff. After that day, it used to not, whenever it would stop walking, it did not say it heard something every time. After that day, though, it did. There is actually times where it doesn't do that, though, surprisingly. When its batteries got low the other day, it wasn't doing it. But my fourth one did it, and I had to unplug both of his ears. That one, this side is unplugged, because whenever I would plug in this side, it would just keep saying it hears something. I unplugged just that side, and now when it stops walking, every time it doesn't say it hears something, unless it actually does. Whereas this one's been, both sides have been disabled since 2012, and still every time it stops walking, it says it hears something, and there's not a single sound sensor plugged in. See, now I think it's possible that this is a first gen that I'm inside of. It's possible that the third gen, I think if I remember correctly, the harness might be in a different spot. And I'm sorry, this is such a blurry thing. But anyways, let me turn off his eyes so he stops moving his head.
Yeah, I've had it up to here with this place.
It's on the Bender personality, the one that used to be on the Robo community.
Yo!
See, now it's doing it. Watch. That's his I hear something response. Let's see if it does it after he says I can't hear anything.
I can't hear anything!
This side doesn't, so it might be the other side.
Yo!
Or maybe it is. His microphones are super sensitive, but still, you think that's the issue, but it's not. It shouldn't. When it's put together, you can tell it's not actually hear something. It's just saying it hears something for the hell of it. Well, let's try to plug in the other side. And these are the ribbon cables for the camera. So if these get damaged, the camera will stop working. That's what happened, and that's why that one's camera doesn't work in my third one. Where's the other one?
Yo!
There are a lot of pieces in his head, so you do kind of have to be careful. Well, not a lot of pieces, but like...
Yes! Yes! Yes!
The good thing about the ears, though, is that in roaming mode, after so many times of hearing sounds but not being able to find where it's coming from, about 10 times,
would you kindly shut your noise hole?
Like right now.
I can't hear anything!
It just heard about 10 noises, but it couldn't find where the noise was coming from. It created a noise overload, so he just turned his ears off. Now, the thing is, you can turn his ears off with the remote control, but as soon as you put it in roaming mode, whether or not you have his ears turned off, it will turn them right back on. So you have to get his ears to shut off in roaming mode and create the noise overload if this problem happens. Oh my god, I'm trying to get this other one plugged in. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'll have to turn it back on now.
Yo.
That.
Yo.
Let's see if it happens now.
I can't hear anything.
It doesn't do it anymore. It was doing it. Maybe it does reset after.
Yo.
Maybe if it's not plugged in for a really long time, it stops. But I can tell you that one definitely was doing it, where it wouldn't wouldn't stop. And the only and you're like,
Yes.
well, how do you know? Just a minute. I'll turn his ears off now.
Yes.
I just don't want to move him around because I don't want any wires yanking off. Just a minute.
Yes. Yes.
What the heck?
Yes.
No, he thinks he's still hearing something. See?
Would you kindly shut your noise hole? I can't hear anything.
We'll leave it like that for a second here. Anyways, you were probably thinking, okay, so it's this side that had to get disabled. You're probably thinking, well, didn't you try hooking up new ear microphones to see if that worked? Yeah, I did. I did a V2 one. It still kept saying it heard something. The V2s don't get this problem. And then, so, I thought, well, this side doesn't do that when it's plugged in. So I'm like, so this ear is good. So I plugged this side into this one, and it did it again. So it's not the actual mic in the ear. It's something in the port. As long as that plug is plugged in, it's going to keep saying it hears something. So that's, again, no information on how to fix this problem has really been found out.
Yo.
Let's try this again. Hey!
Yo. Would you kindly shut your noise hole?
Well, that didn't take long. Oh, what the hell? Jesus.
Yo. Would you kindly shut your noise hole?
That's a little odd. It's not supposed to shut off that quick. Why does it keep trying to walk? I don't get that. It's doing weird stuff now.
Yo. I can't hear anything.
Yeah, it's not doing it anymore, but it was doing it back in 2012. So again, maybe it resets. But remember, these have been unplugged for years, and every time it stops roaming, it says it hears something. I'll demonstrate. I'll try to.
Yo.
But
I can't hear anything.
Good day, sir. I hope I haven't missed anything.
Well, I'll shoot her with my ray gun when she comes. I'll go shoot you.
Perhaps an introduction.
Are you kidding?
Service boat 3000.
I don't know how I'm going to manage to do this. It's just not going to work. For those of you who are wondering how to put the head back on, it's not as hard as you think it is. You just got to make sure that that little hole slot right there is lined up with the little knob right there. And then the head sets on top of that. And you just have to line it up and close it up. See? The ears can fall out, but like I said, it just lines up and goes back in. Again, the only thing you have to be careful about is the ribbon cables for the video camera. Okay, he's back together, just making sure. It looks like his camera still works. Okay, it does. Good.
And photographing
I always
blue.
check it to make... This one looks blue, though. Look at how much difference the quality looks on the two. It actually looks really blue. That's very weird. Well, like, did you not see the...
Flash memory full.
Did you not see the quality difference between these?
Tracking and photographing blue.
Holy crap. Unless the ribbon cables did slightly get... I don't think so, though. They just must... Remember, that's the 3rd generation, so it probably has an updated camera. Anyways, that's not the point. I'm going to show you what I mean, like, when it says it hears something when it stops walking.
Hello, peasants.
And this is the one with the messed up leg. The factory defective leg. Which I really need to replace because it's getting worse and worse. Well, not worse. It's always been the same. It's just it looks like it's getting worse, though.
Yo.
See that? That's his I hear something response, like I've said. It did that even when the ears were unplugged since 2012. Every time it stops talking. Here's how it's supposed to be.
I can't hear anything.
And he says he can't hear anything. Now, again, what this one was doing was that, like I said, after it would say it didn't hear anything anymore, it would immediately say it heard something again. And it would not stop doing that, no matter what. My 3rd one started doing that before the board went out. See? He doesn't say he hears something when he stops walking. That's how they're supposed to be. Unless they actually do hear something. But again, this one does the same thing. He says he hears something every time. These two are 1st generations. And he didn't do that at first when I first got him. See, again, my 4th meter had super sensitive ears. So anytime I tried to make a room, he pretty much just sat there the whole time. Because he just constantly was hearing every slight noise. And that one, of course, got so bad to the point I had to unplug both ears. Because it got to the point where it would just say it heard something. Like, they even do it when they're not in... It's not just in roaming mode. When their ears get that bad, they'll do it. As soon as they hear a sound, they won't get out of that loop. They'll say, again, I hear something. I don't hear it anymore. I hear something. Just constant. Unless you do the noise overload or turn their ears off. But again... When it's in roaming mode, the only way you can get it to do that is you have to do it in roaming mode. Because I will show you that it just doesn't work that way.
This place has class.
I'll turn his ears off.
Yo. Okay, I can't hear anything.
His ears are completely off now.
Ears off.
But you'll see when I put it back in roaming mode that they turn back on.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, I'm gonna change his legs.
Are you kidding?
Just a minute. I mean later, not now. It's just they don't do it when they back up or turn around. Actually, my 4th one did, surprisingly. That's how. My 5th one does not have the issue. And this, like I said, since I unplugged this one's ear, when it stops walking, it doesn't say it hears something anymore.
This is a bit much.
So, whereas this one would. It's weird how, like, these ones are kind of different. The 3rd gens are different.
I must look ridiculous.
Again, we'll just wait for it to stop walking, and you'll see. Remember, I turned his ears off. See? They return on again, and same with guard mode. If you turn them off, oh my god. But then you put them in guard mode, they just turn back on. So this one, due to the fact that this ear is disabled, he doesn't have the feature to detect where the sound is coming from. When they have really long sound tracks that are over 16 seconds, they actually won't say they hear something when they stop walking. See? Because it stops walking and it's still making noise, so like that doesn't cause it to think he hears something. But so it, oh, now he went to sleep. See, the 1st gens go to sleep in 2 minutes if they don't hear something, whereas those ones go for 10 minutes if they don't hear something. And I'll show you how to do the noise overload. I kind of showed it a few days ago in a different video, but I'll show it here too, because this video is about the ears. So
peasants.
Yeah, it needs new parts in its legs now. That leg moved so much more the other day, so it really is.
I do say. We seem to be coming up on this one fast.
Yo.
See? Every time. Alright, now I'll try to do the noise overload thing. My phone just made me really mad. It did that. It had one of those pop-ups come up and it stopped my recording. So now I have to show you the noise overload again. It takes about 8 times of it for it to work, it looks like. Turn the eyes off because the eyes cause confusion. The thing is, the RS meter cannot use its eyes and hear at the same exact time. So if his eyes are blinking
I can't hear anything.
and he doesn't respond to sounds, that's because he's seeing something. And if he's hearing something and you stick your hand in front of him, he's not going to look because he can't do both at once. He can only do one or the other.
Please, don't leave me in the dark.
Once he doesn't see anything anymore, then his ears are listening. But when he's hearing something, he can't see either. So it's like I said, it's only one. They don't have to be both turned off, but he can only do one at a time. Is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Very good.
Now let's try. Let me show you this again.
I do believe I just heard something. Very
Yes. Yes.
good. Of course. Anything else?
That's 2,
Yes.
Of course.
3,
Anything else?
Yes.
4,
Very good.
Yes.
5.
Of course.
Would you
Anything
kindly
else?
shut your noise hole?
That one, I
Of
think
course.
I think he
Anything
found
else?
where it is coming from.
Of course. Anything else?
And that one doesn't count. He has to do it all in one
Anything
round
else?
for it to work.
A veritable cacophony. Wouldn't you agree?
It's
All right.
eight
My
to
ears
10
are turned
times.
off now.
See, this one's ears are turned off. Is he still in the roaming mode? I don't...
A bit of
Here comes
controversial
violence.
would do me a world of good.
I'm gonna do it in the roaming mode.
Well, I'll shoot her with my ray gun when she comes. Yes, I'll shoot her with my ray gun when she comes. Yes, I'll shoot her with my ray gun. Oh, I'll shoot her with my ray gun. Yes, I'll shoot her with my ray gun when she comes. When she comes. I'll be blasting all the humans in the world. I'll be blasting all the humans in the world. I'll be blasting all the humans. I'll be blasting all the humans. I'll be blasting all the humans in the world. In the world.
If you look at the videos when I first rejoined this channel again, you'll see the videos. There's like 4 compilations, and on 2 of them, the beginning of the video, it's on the Gladys personality where it keeps saying someday we'll remember this and laugh. That's the glitch that one was doing where I had to unplug the ear. Now I showed you the inside of that one's head too, but I didn't explain to you in that video
Yo.
how I tried connecting this ear to that one and it still didn't work. And as long as it was unplugged, it worked fine, but as long as that one side was plugged in, doesn't matter what microphone, a V2 ear, this ear, it always thought it heard something constantly.
Yo.
And I usually do it this way.
Yes.
You gotta just kind of...
Yes.
This one's ears aren't as sensitive as I
Yes.
thought. This side is not
Yes.
very sensitive.
Yes. 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 Would you kindly shut
Yep,
your noise hole?
8 times. Wait. Oh shit, it found where the sound was coming from. Again, that happens when both ears hear at the same time. Oh, we'll try it again.
Yo.
He wouldn't delay so much if his torso could turn. This is the one that the component blew out
Yes!
in his up and down. No, just for his up.
Yes!
He wouldn't go up, he would only go down.
Yes! 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 Yes!
This is the more sensitive ear, so I bet this is the one that was causing it to act up just like that one. It seems like it's always the right ear that acts up on these. It was actually a few days ago, this one was starting to too, but it stopped now. So now, since his ears are off, he will go to sleep after 2 minutes of roaming, whereas if it was, like I said, 3rd gen, it would be 10 minutes, and then he would just power down, not go to sleep. Because it's impossible for them to go to sleep in roaming mode for 10 minutes without hearing a sound. I mean, it's just too long. It's going to hear something within that amount of time. So basically, those ones go continuously, and these ones basically go continuously unless they're avoiding obstacles for 2 minutes straight if they have the problem already. But if they don't have the problem, then it's not that bad. It's not bad when it's not stuck in the constant loop. It doesn't matter that much. It's just something to talk about. Maybe I'll replace those legs tonight. I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, I kind of want to change it so it walks good, but then again, it's my first RS meet. It's known to walk retarded. So it's like, I don't know. It's a hard decision. But they look more screwed up now than they ever have. So I think it's getting worse. After 8.5 years. Because they've stayed the same forever.
Batteries in my feet need changing.
Well, it was almost 2 minutes.
Can't you see I'm using a toilet?
I just powered down. Whatever. Anyways, you get the point. I showed you everything you need to know about the ears now. So, hope that helped you with some information. I'll quickly show you my second.
Bridging elections is my bread and butter, Roger.
Oh, this is one of the lawn sayings where it's not going to do it. Because if it's longer than 16 seconds, because in each time it walks, it goes for 16 seconds about, and then it pauses and goes through it. And if it's not talking, if it has the ear problem, it's going to say it hears something. But if it's still talking after when it pauses the walk, it's not going to do it. It's weird how it works, but again, I have like 12 units, and I know every problem these things can have at this point. And that's another lawn one. That's past 16 seconds. So if you have a personality that constantly has longer sound files, they're going to go to sleep in 2 minutes. See? Wait for it to do a shorter one, though.
I can't hear anything. No, Roger, you cannot borrow the car.
There we go, that's a short one. And so now when it stops walking, it's going to do it. As long as we don't make it see something back up. Now it didn't. Again, this one's not as bad as it was. I mean, it usually does it every time, but this one... My phone had another one of those stupid-ass pop-ups. I don't know how to get rid of those damn things.
It's funnier, but I think it takes
I mean, I've gotten used to it popping up when in the middle of them when I'm trying to watch video, but when I'm recording, that's where it goes too far. You can't interrupt my videos. Okay, these all have...
Let's try that on the park setting.
Well, I guess that's not too long of a... That one doesn't go past 16 seconds, I guess.
I don't know. It's funnier, but I think it takes out some of the tension.
I can't hear you.
Oh, it's not even doing it right now. That's weird.
All is lost.
And it went to sleep already. That's so weird. It usually just always does it.
Dum,
But I think that if I make it hear a sound, it's gonna like have an effect and it's gonna start doing it every time. Oh Jesus! I don't want them seeing obstacles, damn it. Because then I can't show it. There's not enough space. And this one walks so fast too. Like it takes big steps. Again, this is my best walk in media. And yet its body's even broken and it still walks good.
Where did I put those spare batteries?
Are you kidding?
No.
Say what?
Let's see if it does it after that time now. It's weird. I can't... It was even doing it earlier today. But now it's not all of a sudden when I'm trying to prove a point. Of course. Because it wants people to think I'm wrong. Of course.
Move along. Nothing to see here.
See, he did it. See, now he did it. Once I got him to hear something one time, now he's continuously doing it. And like I said, the others are not like that though. But if you leave him in a noisy room for too long, that starts damaging some board issue or component that causes them to start doing this all the time. Yeah, again, I don't know. It's weird. The V2s don't have this problem, so I don't know why the media does.
Hello,
But,
everyone.
yeah.
The party has arrived.
Look how far that is.
Are you kidding?
You know what? That's probably why. I'm talking to myself, sorry. Alright, anyways, that's enough now. You guys get it.
Arm mode. Media mode.
I'm a bender. I bend girders. That's all I'm programmed to do. Lies and slander!
Oh, geez.